I just got done watching His and Hers on Netflix, and I am emotional right now. Team Alice all the way. I just love seeing series or movies that illustrates a mother's love. The way that we will move mountains for our children in order to make them happy, in order to avenge them, and in order to just protect them. So Team Alice, comment down below. But guys, today I'm going to talk to you about my review of this limited series. I also want to talk to you about some clues that the killer was right in our face all along. And I do want to talk to you about some things that really just made no sense in this series whatsoever. But before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Brandi, and I realize that you could be on any channel in the world, but you're right here with me, and I really do appreciate that. So please go ahead and like this video. It really does help the channel out, and I greatly appreciate it. And also subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy watching TV show reviews and also movie reviews. Now, my rating of this series is a solid 8.5 over 10 stars. I was literally on the edge of my seat the entire 6 episodes. The pacing was really good. The 6 episodes went by so quickly. This show is so easy to binge. The performances were phenomenal. This series starred Tessa Thompson, Jon Bernthal, Crystal Fox, amongst many others, and they all did a phenomenal job. I also love the themes that were explored in this series. We saw themes of grief, suppressed trauma, bullying, a mother's love. The list goes on and on and on. The writing was really strong, except when we got to episode 6. Episode 6, to me, the reveal episode, which I'm actually starting to see in a lot of series, that the reveal episode, if that episode is not strong, it creates so many different plot holes, and it makes you second guess how much you love the entire series. Like, until I got to episode 6, I was convinced that it was a 10 over 10 for me, right? But once I saw episode 6, I'm like, this is getting a little bit wonky. This is getting a little bit Tubi-ish. But nonetheless, the series did end off strong at the end of episode 6, and I still give it a solid 8.5 over 10. Now, by the end of episode 3, I wrote down in my notes on my phone that Mama is the killer. And let me tell you something. I was just going off of a hunch at first, but now that I look back in hindsight, there were a lot of clues as the series went on. And I mainly had a hunch that Alice was the killer because of her past appearance in Fall from Grace, that Tyler Perry movie on Netflix too. And if you know this actress and her energy, she has this type of energy of, I'm not a killer, but don't push me. And I saw that's exactly what was unfolding as I was watching this series. It's as if Miss Alice, her motive was building stronger and stronger and stronger for her to actually be the killer. I mean, they were focusing on Miss Alice quite a lot. But the first solid clue I would have to say is that she had opportunity. We saw that the first kill was Rachel when we saw her sprawled out on a red sports car in the rain in the forest. And we found out the next day that Miss Alice has been taking night walks, that apparently she has dementia or Alzheimer's. And she walked the street that night naked, barefoot in fact. And we saw at the crime scene that the detectives, especially Detective Priya, she was noting that there were a lot of bare footprints there, but everybody overlooked those bare footprints. And we saw Mama Alice stripping down out there, right? And in fact, on one of the later episodes, they were even saying that Mama Alice wouldn't even wear a watch. I mean, she was naked from head to toe. And we saw those bare footprints at Rachel's crime scene, but they were dismissed as belonging to Rachel.
How in the world would you possibly know that those other footprints belong to the victim?
Because they were made by bare feet.
The second clue is how we saw Mama Alice watching those tapes. We knew that it was something bad that was going to happen on those tapes because we saw on episode 1 when Anna first went into her old bedroom, into the box with her old journalism tapes. You saw her reaction when she was watching the tape that was left in the camera. She was appalled. She was disturbed, and you could tell that she was haunting. It wasn't hard to deduce that there was something bad at the end of the tape, especially because we kept hearing them reference on this entire series that it was a bad secret from 20 years ago, right? So Miss Alice, she got to that secret, and that's why she did what she did, and that's why I'm Team Alice. And can you imagine just being a mom and seeing that on tape, seeing your daughter getting raped and her 3 friends just watching it? Those ladies really did deserve to die. Now, the third clue, or maybe I shouldn't call these clues, sometimes these are just setups. This was just a setup to show us that Miss Alice was going to play a much larger role in this series than just being Anna's mom. The third thing was that she was the babysitter the night that Anna and Jack's baby passed away from infant crib death. When I saw that Jack and Anna were going on a date and Anna was so reluctant to leave the baby because the baby was so fussy, right then and there on episode 3, we know that Alice was going to be the last one to see the baby alive. And I was heartbroken at that point. I'm like, oh my God, imagine, do you know how much grandmothers love their grandbaby and the baby passes away on Miss Alice's watch? Now you know she's gonna not be right after that. You're not right after a situation like that. And I just knew at that point that, again, Miss Alice was getting a lot of screen time. They were setting her up for something bigger. And I knew at that point that she would do anything in this world to make her daughter happy again, which she did at the end of this series. Now, the next clue were the keys. We see that Miss Alice had a whole bunch of keys from her past life as a maid. She had access to Zoe's house. She had access to the school. She had access to go into Lexi's house in order to set her up as the killer. We saw that she planted the clippings of Rachel's nails in Lexi's house, as well as other evidence too. So I think those keys were a big clue that Miss Alice was the killer. Now, the 5th clue ties into the 4th clue. We see that Mama Alice was the one that actually introduced her baby Anna to those evil girls that became her best friends. We see that Mama Alice enrolled Anna into that school and she asked the girls to take Anna under their wings. She asked them that. Oh my God, can you imagine? And imagine you being the one to set your daughter up with these friends. And then you see these same friends that you arranged for your daughter, watching your daughter get raped on TV, right? So that was a clue to me right there. Like, she knew all of these girls intimately. She worked for these girls' families as a maid. She still had keys, a whole bunch of keys in her house. And again, just the motives were mounting and mounting up that Miss Alice was indeed gonna ride out for her daughter. Lastly, I want to talk about a few things that made absolutely no sense in this series. Some very important unanswered questions I have that can actually be looked at as plot holes. So my first question is, how in the world did Anna fall in love with Jack, marry him, have a baby with him, and he's the brother to Zoe? Zoe that watched her be essayed. Like, how did that come together? How did they fall in love? I really wish that we would have got more backstory on that. Now, the main nonsensical thing that I didn't like about this series was the whole situation where Richard took Anna back to the house saying that Lexi wanted to talk to her. And I just wanted to know, what were their plans with Anna at that point? Were they going to kill Anna? We never got any background information on that. We see that when Anna enters the house, she sees a whole bunch of tools laid out on the table, but what were their intentions? Now, that whole scene would have made sense if Lexi actually was the killer at the end of the series, but Lexi wasn't even a killer. So what were the intentions there and what was the game plan? And lastly, this was just something that was kind of irking me, getting on my nerves. Not a plot hole or anything like that, but the way Jack was eating those damn bananas. I thought something was going to come about with the way he was obsessed with eating the bananas, but maybe I need to read the book to find out what the whole Jack and a banana situation was about. Now, my main qualm with this series is that Mama Alice wrote the letter to Anna at the end of this series revealing that she was the killer. Mama, why did you do that? What is Anna supposed to do with that information? And also, one of the people that her mom killed obviously is Zoe, and Zoe is Anna's husband's sister. So again, what is Anna supposed to do with that information? I just think the mama, she should have took that information to the grave, and maybe she could have wrote out a letter that said, you know, read this letter after I pass, and let Anna find out that way. But overall, I really did enjoy watching this series. And guys, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you saw any clues as well that Miss Alice was the killer. And let me know if you thought it was somebody else. Up until episode 3, I kind of thought that it could have been Anna, and maybe Anna was setting up Jack to take the downfall, because I was thinking that maybe Jack had something to do with the baby's death. Like maybe Jack was on duty the night that the baby passed away. I was thinking something along those lines, but that was until we got to episode 3, until they started like setting up Alice more to be the killer. But nonetheless, guys, if you made it this far in the video, drop a black heart down below. Let me know you're still here. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Peace.